We could take a look in this world right now and we can see left, right, and center. There's problems everywhere. The government shutdown collapse.
The government has shut down, and I don't even know what's going on. I'm going into the office. Y'all, this has been such a roller coaster ride as a government worker. I've worked for the government for 35 years, and I loved my job, and it was always like the safest place to work as far as the security, so for this to be happening is like, wow.
That good government job, just make sure you keep your good government job. Don't nobody even want it no more. As 2025, they don't.
President Trump tonight threatening to fire federal workers and to cut programs and benefits, saying he can do things that are irreversible. Tonight, Democrats say they want Medicaid cuts restored and to keep health insurance premiums from going up for millions. And Democrats say Republicans would rather shut the government down than protect the health care of the American people.
All in agreement on this, right? If the government does away with the health care subsidies and all of our premiums go up for next year and they're just way too expensive, we all just stop using insurance. And then if we get sick or need medical care, we just show up to the hospital. And when they give us the bill, we just don't pay it. Let the system collapse.
Everywhere you look is going to be a problem. We know there's a crisis right now. We can see how things are rising, inflation.
Let's get into the shelter and housing perspective about the government shutdown, and let's talk about what we might see and how this might affect you, or if you are on Section 8, you rely on these subsidies, and if you were in a shelter. I'm only going to talk about a couple of things because it's still really too early to go over the most important details. So as we know that the shutdown can have a serious wide range of effects, so let's look at this breakdown on how this may impact shelters, voucher holders, and housing programs. So immediate impacts of the federal government shutdown on shelters and housing programs. So we know that HUD is operating on a slow, or they're halting a lot of their businesses. So most of HUD staffs are furloughed, leaving a small skeleton crew to manage essential tasks. Renewals for Section 8 project-based rental assistance contracts may be delayed if the shutdown lasts more than 30 days. New grants, contracts, and funding approvals are paused, affecting shelters and housing providers relying on federal support. Okay, housing choice vouchers. Let's get into Section 8 for a second. Payments to landlord may be delayed if HUD systems are inaccessible for funding and runs out. Public housing authorities may face uncertainties and administrative delays, especially if they rely on HUD systems for processing payments. Shelter operations. Shelters funded by federal grants like ESG and COC may experience delays in reimbursements or grant renewals. Staffing shortages at HUD and other agencies can slow down technical assistance, compliance checks, and reporting. So again, the short term, under 30 days, if this does go for under 30 days, most programs will continue without minimal disruption. But if it lasts longer than 30 days, funding gaps may force shelters and housing providers to cut service, delay payments, and even pause new intakes. So this is what we're looking at. Of course, there's more, but this is just from a shelter and housing assistance perspective.
Financial services, your money will be impacted in a bank. These are all federal agencies, federal companies. The whole banking system, consumerism. When we think about that, you're probably going to say, well, this isn't going to affect me. Oh, yes, it is. Because when you have to go by certain protocols for things to be import and export, it still have to come through government. So there's going to be a lot of delays, and that right there, it's too much. We're already going through it. Like, take a look around. We're going through it. People can hardly afford to live nowadays because everything is getting skyrocketed It's getting expensive, not to mention this government shutdown on top of it.
President Trump now threatening to fire, quote, a lot of federal workers if Democrats don't back down.
We'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected.
But Democrats holding firm, demanding that Republicans reverse cuts to Medicaid and extend expiring Obamacare subsidies to prevent insurance premiums from rising for some 20 million Americans.
What does that mean for us active duty personnel? That means that we got paid on the 1st, but as long as the government is shut down, we will not get a paycheck on the 15th. This, of course, has caused a lot of financial worry and burdens amongst all of our active duty personnel, especially those that are living paycheck to paycheck. So my call of action for you today is to stop living paycheck by paycheck. One thing that I want to make sure everyone's aware, and I want to say this delicately because I am active duty, is that the government shutdowns are happening more and more often, which I don't see it lessening as politics have become more polarized, where they separate people. People are, split in between a line and not knowing how to disagree to agree or agree to disagree or, debate and stuff like that. And just be good with having a difference of opinion. So I see this happening more often, not even to mention as somebody in the Coast Guard, people may not know, but when the government shutdowns happens, it actually affects our retirees also. So our retirees won't get paid. So imagine being retired from the military, you've done your service, and now the government shutdown is going to cause you to not get paid in your retirement. And so this is why I say, this is definitely my point of view, is that the government was not designed to fully always take care of you. I'm pretty sure it shows by actions now that we're not their highest priority. And so my whole point of that is not to bash, but the whole point is that you can't count on the government, and you need to take ownership of your finances, of your own financial destiny. You need to be in a place in life to where if the government shuts down, like how I am in this situation now, that you really don't care because you have other financial resources that you can depend on.
They'd rather shut the government down than protect the health care of the American people.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out. We can do things medically and other ways, including benefits.
Brought his words to Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
The president is now threatening these irreversible cuts to the workforce, to programs. Is that a risk that Democrats are willing to take?
What's the verdict? We are all furloughed. So until further notice, today at 5 p.m. Will be our last time on the job. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Being an adult and life just be coming at you fast, bruh. I swear to God. And I feel like life has just been smacking me. This year, I feel like it's been smacking me. It's been very real. So, this isn't something I ever thought that would happen, but it's happened. It's happening to a lot of people. And, I just gotta make it work, keep it moving, and focus on what I can control, which is how I spend my time, how I intend to, live my life and sustain myself beyond this job. I'm glad I already paid my rent. I will be getting a paycheck next Friday. After that, there will be no paycheck for this period, for as long as this furlough is occurring. And it can be a week, it can be a couple of days, it can be a month, who knows? There will be no paycheck for that time period. So
We got to stay prayed up, y'all, because we live in a season and a recession right now where It's not getting better.
Okay, day one of being furloughed, guys. So I just got an email saying that I've been placed on furlough status. However, during this period, I may be contacted at any time and instructed to perform specific expected work. So I'm not getting paid. I can be on call, basically, and I can't go on a cruise because I was like, oh, maybe I'll go on a little vacation or some. Negative. I have to be available at all times with no pay, zero money, on call, but I'm furloughed.
On my way to work this morning, because we didn't, get a message in the morning for a heads up, or, I think it happened past midnight, right at midnight or something like that. But on the way to work, there was a group message that came out, and someone said, hey, we don't have access. And I'm a government contractor, like I said, so not a GS or GG, it's contract work difference. So like, hey, we don't have access to get in. I'm like, that can't be good. So like, have we heard anything from the Corps, which is the contracting officer representative, or anything from the contracting firm at all? And they're like, no. And so we're trying to reach out to them, and no luck getting through. So I reached out to Jack, like, Jack, have you looked up or heard anything else that was put out about it? Because I can't get in the building, we can't get in. I mean, what was your reaction immediately with that?
I was like, this can't be happening again.
And you're probably going to say, well, it's not going to impact my business. But truth be told, if there's a government building that is right close to your business, and quite frankly, business is going to be slow for you. The whole point is everyone is going to be impacted. The only thing that we can do right now is to pray about it. We have to pray through it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people's lives will change because of this. We already experiencing financial crisis. When these government agency is being impacted, then it's definitely going to create a domino effects on all of us, and it's going to make people miserable. It's going to make life challenging for all of us, right? And so for you have to reposition yourself, and you have to be proactive of what you're doing. The world is changing, and the only thing that we can do from here is just to pray about it, pray through it, that there will be some changes. Because let me tell you, a lot of people's life will change. We're going to see different outcome, and the outcome sometimes won't be good, especially when it comes down to government shutdown. I think the last one was about 2018, and we lost a lot of money in the process of it. So let's just keep our finger crossed. Let's keep our eyes on the price. Let's just keep praying through this, all right? Let me know your thoughts on this video. Let's talk about it.